Hey, Soul Tribe. Welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining. And I just wanted to share a message today because I've been going through some things the past couple weeks, past few months actually, that I don't know if I even have the words to describe what I've experienced. But it has been at a level of, it's been more of a spiritual, deep, internal, soul connecting type of experiences that I've had. And I don't think words can really describe what I have experienced. But while I was experiencing all of this, I also chose to work on some projects. And I finalized all the projects. They're all done. I've worked on a few journals. They're all finalized and they are all available on Amazon if you're interested. These are 90-day journals. Any journals that I put out, I try to make them at least like 3-monthers. But I was working on these projects and I was having all these deep dives spiritually. And one thing that happened to me that I don't know that I even know the words to describe the level of depth that I've been to. It's just something that you would have to experience to really understand what I'm talking about. And I do believe that there are some people out here in the collective that have experienced this already. And then for those that haven't, I'm sure that at some point, if you keep digging deeper within yourself and getting to that full authentic version of you and trying to tap into your higher self and dig deeper on a spiritual soul level, then eventually you'll experience what I'm talking about if you haven't already done so. But it just made me think about thinking that I was more than halfway to who I really am authentically, who I was born as. And then over the years, people in society have changed me, or me conforming into what people or society say I should be. And it just made me think about are we who we really are? Are you who you were born to be? Or are you living to just exist? Like you're doing the typical 9 to 5, you're doing things the way that people say that humans should live. But are you happy? And are you who you're supposed to be? Are you who you really are? A lot of times, we get influenced by other people, by the society, and we start living life in this way that it's more for the opinions of others. How many people like you, how many social media likes and views you get. We start living this materialistic, self-absorbed world rather than living as the person we were born to live as. We all have a higher purpose. We tend to allow the influences from the outside to take over and determine who we're supposed to be. We allow ego to drive us rather than love and our soul to drive us. Some people get so caught up in wanting to be popular, wanting to be seen, and wanting everybody to just pay attention to them, that they lose themselves into that comfort of, look at me. Everybody loves me. Everybody likes what I post. Everybody likes what I have to say. But they're not really like who they were born to be. They're just who they think people want to see and who they think people believe that they are. They're in this, it's almost like they're in this mindset of living for other people rather than a place of living for themselves and living with love. I don't know, it just started making me think, like, are we living for ourselves and not from a place of love? Because there's some cold-hearted people out here in this world, and it's almost like people are oblivious to others, and the world just revolves around them. And they start living this very selfish, self-absorbed lifestyle because it makes them feel good with no concern about the people around them. And it just made me start thinking, like, who are you? Like, who are you? We are all spiritual beings living as human beings. And with that, because we're in this physical vessel, we have choices. We have choices to love one another, to care for one another, to protect one another, to help one another, or be out for ourselves and get whatever we can get while we're here on this earth with no concern of the others that are around us. I do feel like a lot of people get lost in the way that society has made them feel. And some people don't know how to dive deep within themselves internally to get to that place of who they really are. And it does take a lot of time. It takes a lot of practice to find yourself in that place, but eventually you will get there. And when you have that internal self-discovery, it is a feeling of bliss, honestly. I feel like you open so many doors when you truly get to who you really are, your authentic, born self, and not allow the judgment of other people, the opinions of other people dictate how you live life, and not allow the influences, the greed of the world to make you start living in a way that is not coming from a place of love. We are all born with light that is already within us. And as I said earlier, over the years, there's circumstances, there are people that we interact with or encounter, and they, from these young ages, for us at these young ages, are shushed or told not to say or behave a certain way by our parents, someone in authority position, and then that in turn changes us from that part of authenticity that we revealed. Sometimes it frightens people, it makes people uncomfortable, and when people are uncomfortable, they don't think you should behave or speak a certain way. And I'm not saying we should be out here living life just being terrible to folks and disrespectful or rude. I'm saying just because some things make people uncomfortable doesn't mean that you should not reveal those things, if they're not harming yourself or anyone else. There are parts of us that, if people can't understand it, they don't see it as a way that a person should be. But keep in mind, we're all spiritual beings living in human bodies. We all have a higher self. Not everyone has discovered their higher self. Not everyone knows how to get to their higher self. And that's why you have to stop literally trying to change the world and the people around you and start with yourself. The only way to make change is to start within. We have a lot of power within us that we have suppressed, or we chose not to reveal it because it made people uncomfortable. There's a lot of power within us. There's a lot of light within us. Some of our lights have been dimmed. Some of our power has been, people have tried to take it away because it made them uncomfortable. And we have to go back and bring that to the surface, bring that power, brighten that light. I have a self-help guide that I created that actually walks you through processes and practices to help you reflect inward on situations or experiences that you're going through, so that you can change your perspective, and it'll gradually get you through the process. Nothing can happen overnight. Everything takes time, it takes practice and consistency. But with this guide that I created, it is on Amazon, just like the daily journals, and I'll have all the links in the description box below. But the guide is called Thriving Through Chaos, A Guide to Finding Strength in Life's Storms. And this guide, I've worked through the steps myself, and then that is how I came up with the guide, because I wanted to be able to explain how to maneuver through the experiences we have. And it was hard to really explain it in words. So once I was able to walk myself through the steps, whenever I was facing something, then I was able to write down in my journal the processes that I took, and then I was able to translate that into a self-help guide. And I do think that if anyone is struggling with how to maneuver through the processes, to deal with experiences that they're going through, this guide will be very beneficial, helping you get there. But we tend to not know how to discover who we actually are authentically, because for years that part of us have been suppressed. People didn't like it. It made people uncomfortable. And the moment that we decide to stop allowing society and others to tell us who we are, that is the moment that everything shifts for you. You stop concerning yourself with other people's opinions and start pursuing the happiness that you deserve. Try to find things that bring joy, make you feel good. If there were some hobbies that you used to do and you no longer do it for whatever reason, try to get back to those things or find new hobbies. Try some things out, see if you like it. We live in a society where we are taught how humans should live. And I'm not saying that everything that we've been taught is wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, are you happy with who they, society, or whoever, say you are? Are you the version of you that has purpose and you're not just living to exist? Are you who you want to be? Are you your authentic self? Or are you living the way that society or people say we should be? And I'm talking in your personal life, I'm talking in your professional life. A lot of times we avoid being ourselves because we don't want to be portrayed a certain way or be tagged with a certain stereotype. So we try to live in the guidelines that they think we should live by, even though we know that we're not speaking up when we need to speak up on something. We're not acting when we need to act on something. We're just allowing things to be because we don't want to go against the grain. We don't want to like make waves. I used to sit quiet and let things be, not speak up on something. Knowing that someone's presenting some information that's incorrectly, I used to sit quiet, think to myself, well, that's not accurate. That's not, that's not right. But I was scared to speak up because I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to be labeled a certain way. I didn't want to be stereotyped, portrayed in any way. And I didn't want the opinions of other people in that setting. So I just stayed quiet, knowing the information I was hearing or seeing was wrong. But I was fearful and I didn't speak up. But over the years, I've experienced some things that have challenged me in a way and forced me to speak on those things that I used to be quiet about. I used to pick and choose what I would and wouldn't speak on. Now I just speak on it. If there's something that needs to be said, I'm probably the person in the room that's going to say it. I'm going to be honest with you. I am that person. If someone doesn't beat me to it, I will be the person that raises my hand and speaks on it. Because what I won't do is sit around and allow people to be fed lies or information that's not correct. So I have gotten to that place where I do feel that I am my authentic self. And it took several years for me to get to this place, which I think is why I've been experiencing some spiritual things these past few months to provide a little more clarity on this journey that I've been on. And I'll definitely say that I have received the clarity that I was seeking, and I have a better understanding of life. I have a better understanding of our existence. But I don't think that there is enough of us that see that and understand that and know that. We're all out here. We just don't know who we are until we dig in deep internally, do some soul searching, as they say, but reflect inward and try to tap into your spiritual being, your higher self. Our energy has purpose. We are not here to play small. We are here to rise above fear, protect what matters, and create something powerful from within. Even if the ground feels unstable, just know that the clarity is anchoring you. Let the fire in your spirit meet the vision in your heart. Thank you again for tuning in to Peace in a Pod. Soul Tribe, remember, you are the light. Shine bright. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Peace in a Pod. Please do comment, like, follow, share, rate, subscribe, all of those things. And I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.